Okay, so in our second section of the tutorial, we want to add some spikes, and we'll get collision detection working and a little bit of logic as well. So let's find from our media sidebar, let's find spikes. Here we go. Spike object. And remember, we don't want to put it in the tile map. We want to put it in one of our regular layers like props. Okay. Where might I put some spikes? I'm thinking I might booby trap this area with some spikes down here. So put a spike there, and then I'll put a spike there, and you'll have to be pretty careful to avoid them. Okay, a couple of spikes in there. Now, how do we want to script this? Let's right click on one of them and add a script. And we'll think about what we want them to do. Well, first of all, we don't want them moving around, so we'll make them immovable when they are created. We go to events and grab when created. And then from physics, we will grab set immovable true and connect that into there. So this spike won't be able to be moved around. Next, we want to detect when the player touches the spike. So let's go to physics and grab this block near the top. When I am touched, get toucher. When I'm touched, get toucher. So the spike will be able to detect when it's touched by something, and it'll remember who it was touched by. What we want to do now is get the spike to ask, was I touched by the player? If I was touched by the player, I will restart the game. So we want to check if a condition is true. We go to control flow and grab the if do block under conditionals. Control flow, if do. We'll connect that in there. So when I touch something, if that thing was the player, is what we want to say in here. How can we know if this was the player or not? Well, we can put some identifying information on our player. We will use a tag on our player. We haven't set up a tag on our player yet, but we will assume that we will do that next, so this will work. If we go to sensing, and under the tagging section, grab myself has tag name, connect that to the if block. So now it's asking if I have the tag that we're looking for. The tag that we're looking for is player, so we'll type in player. But we don't want to know if I, the spike, has the player tag. So we'll get rid of myself from there, and we're going to replace it with toucher. We just touched something, so does the toucher have the tag player? We'll go to variables. The toucher is stored as a variable. Instance toucher means object, specific object that we touched. So variables, instance toucher, drag that into where myself was. So when I touch something, if that something had the player tag, what do we want to do? We want to restart the game. So we'll send you back to the first level. The block for that is from control flow, go to next level. We'll change next to first. All right. Very good. Now let's close the script, save that, and we are going to call this spike, or maybe we should call it deadly obstacle, because we might use some other objects with the same programming. Deadly obstacle. Okay. So that one spike has that script. We need to put it on that other one as well. So if we go up to our code sidebar here, select deadly obstacle and attach that. So that same script is on both. Very good. Now remember how we were checking for the player tag. We need to actually add that player tag to our player. If we haven't added it, which we haven't, if we just go and play, we'll see that our spikes won't do anything because they don't know. They don't know about the player. They don't know that this is supposed to be the player. The way that we'll tell them that it's the player is by adding that tag. So I'll close my game and I'll go and edit my player script. Okay, on here I want to say when the player is created, give it the player tag. So when created is from events, when created. And then from sensing, we want under tagging, add tag, tag name on myself. Add tag. And what tag will we supposed to give the player? That's the player tag. And you can use this system on all kinds of objects so they can identify each other as different kinds of objects. Okay, let's play that now to test it out. And there we go, touching the spike sent me back to the first level, which is this level. Okay, very good. So we've got some basic interaction working, interactive objects, and we've got our player controls working with inputs and outputs. And we also set up a little bit of logic there. We're checking that condition, checking the tag on that object. So let's close this script and save our game. File, save game. All right, very good.